A crisis is looming large over our country. A crisis, if left unattended, will impact the livelihood of millions. A crisis, if not corrected, will impact the food on your table. But despite the serious nature of the crisis, it has not received much attention. It remains an invisible and silent crisis. And that is the crisis brought about by NREGA, or the Mahatma Gandhi National Rural Employment Guarantee Act. NREGA is a flagship program of the Government of India aimed at providing 100 days of wage employment annually per household. The objective of this scheme is to ensure livelihood security for the rural poor, especially when there is a lean agricultural season that induces migration, while also creating assets like ponds, roads, irrigation channels, etc. There were schemes earlier too for providing suitable employment in rural areas, like the Jawahar Rozgar Yojana launched by Rajiv Gandhi government in 1989, which provided for 90 to 100 days employment per person, particularly in backward districts. Then there was the Employment Assurance Scheme launched by P.V. Narasimha Rao government in October 1993 to provide employment to agricultural labourers during the lean season. Later, the EAS was revamped and expanded into the Sampurna Gramin Rozgar Yojana by the Vajpayee government to converge employment generation, infrastructure development, and food security in rural areas. All these schemes are focused on the development of economically backward and agriculture deficient regions. It focused on landless laborers living below the poverty line. But with the implementation of NREGA in 2005, things took a turn for the worse. Though NREGA has had a positive impact on agriculture and livelihoods of small, marginal, and landless households in rural areas, many studies have shown that it is having a negative impact on agriculture in terms of creating labor scarcity during peak season. This is because of diversion of rural farm labor to NREGA works, as wage rates for NREGA are higher than the prevailing farm wages. The Reserve Bank of India's annual report for the year 2017-18 has reaffirmed the labor crisis in agriculture caused due to NREGA. Rural households across 6 states surveyed preferred working under NREGA than traditional agricultural labor. The RBI report states that the shift to NREGA from traditional employment has been the highest in states like Odisha, Uttar Pradesh, and West Bengal, which are basically agricultural states. On top of that, there has been a lack of accountability in the way the program has been in execution since its inception in 2005. Workers enrolled under the program are assembled at a point in the village and are later taken away without making them do any work. There has been a delay in the completion of works under NREGA, and inspection of projects has been irregular. Assets created are fudged in the records. Middlemen take commissions from the money meant for the poor. People are given money to just sit under the shade and later sent off without making them do any work. As a result, agricultural labor in states like Tamil Nadu, Andhra Pradesh, and Uttar Pradesh have fallen short due to labor preference for NREGA owing to its less toil, less supervision, and provision of other facilities. This has also resulted in the escalation of agricultural costs, as a farmer now has to pay double or triple the cost of NREGA wages to get labor. Today, agriculture has become a less profitable venture, with farmers scrambling for labor. Although there are enough jobs, the universalization of NREGA has played spoilsport in having a productive labor force in agriculture-dependent states. Economists like Jagdish Bhagwati and Arvind Panagriya have described NREGA as an inefficient instrument of shifting income to the poor. Renowned economist Surjit Bhalla, who is currently the executive director for India at the IMF, termed it as an unsuccessful scheme, saying that any scheme with 85% leakages can't be proclaimed to be working successfully. The Government of India in 2014 tried to bring about changes by focusing the program in 2,500 backward blocks. In 2017, the Government of India decided to bypass states and directly fund the social audit units under the NREGA, a first of its kind move aimed at securing an independent view on the implementation of its flagship Rural Employment Guarantee Scheme. And in a big move towards transparency and accountability, an app has been launched to mark attendance of NREGA workers. While NREGA is a good scheme, political mismanagement had helped create the biggest generator of disguised unemployment in India's history. The Modi government's intervention has rectified the structural rot and has unleashed the true potential of the scheme.